Hey legends, welcome along to a new video. So, it is Sunday afternoon and I'm out for a little walk here just to loosen up this back a little bit for me, and just wanted to do a little video on not comparing yourself to other people. I have been fairly guilty of doing that in the past, and if you're trying to get something like this going, it's definitely not the way to go. I've seen so many people falling into the same trap, and it just leads you absolutely nowhere. If you're trying to chase a similar success to what somebody else has achieved, you know, that's not to say that you can't do it. You put your mind to it, you can do just about anything, but the amount of time it's going to take to achieve that success is a long time. I've even noticed it with people that have already achieved some level of success. Now, if you're watching YouTube regularly, like myself, you'll have your favourite YouTubers, creators on here, and one of mine is Roman Atwood. Now, we know what happened to Roman over the last year or so. Like 2020 for him was extremely stressful, and just the same as the rest of us. We really had a bad 2020, but professionally speaking, Roman took, I don't want to say a loss, like what happened to him. I'm not going to get into his own personal story here. Like, if you know his channel, if you know him, what he does, you know what they went through. Nobody should go through that sort of stuff, no matter who they are. But I've even noticed since he's came back to YouTube and started to create again on a regular basis, it's not that he's not as focused as what he was, but I genuinely do think that he's realised that the platform that YouTube was back in 2019 is insanely different to what it is right now. And I've noticed a bit of a change in the way he's creating content, and that's just an example of someone that's got up there, has made it, you know, is making a full-time living out of this sort of thing. Like, he's noticing the change and he's switching about the way he's doing things now because of that. You know, I have listened to so many podcasts, watched so many YouTube videos from people that are, you know, they sell themselves as SEO experts and that sort of thing, and a lot of the information they're giving you is good. If it was 2016, like, the platform it's just different. It's just the stuff that worked in 2016 would have built you a successful channel that no longer exists on YouTube and content creation in general. Like, I don't think, if everyone was to be brutally honest with themselves, the majority of them would say we haven't got a clue what we're doing right now, because the platform is changing so much on such a regular basis. Take kids content, for example. You can't monetize that anymore, and you know, it's not even really visible in the search anymore if you're into that sort of thing. You know, I love doing the review videos over in the review channel, and I need to get back into that, and I will be this week. But I'm doing reviews on old stuff like Transformers Generation 1, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you know, stuff that I grew up with, you know, stuff that people my age would be interested in actually watching. And you know, I know now, before going into that there, that, you know, monetization is not going to work in that there. The search engine it's going to be pushed right to the very bottom of search. You know, I'm okay with that there. It's a long game doing this sort of stuff, but comparing yourself to other people is you know, it'll drive you absolutely insane. I was guilty of that at the very beginning, and as I have said in this channel before, once I get to the 100 subscribers mark on this channel, what I'm going to do to celebrate that is take my TV and film qualification and set fire to it, because that is nothing more to me now than a physical representation of me and my insecurities and what other people thought about me, you know, that sort of deal. And comparing myself to other people was the only reason why I went, done that course, got that qualification, was because there were so many people that were starting out around about the same after I did, actually. And, you know, they were drumming onto me that, you know, if you're not qualified, if you don't have this certain piece of paper, you'll never make it anywhere, sort of deal. And the thing that I've realised about not just comparing yourself to other people, but, you know, 5 or 6 years down the line from doing that sort of stuff, where not just where you yourself will end up, but where these people that you're comparing yourself to will eventually end up. Now, there was 2 or 3 guys that I've known personally in the past that were, you know, I don't want to say giving me a really hard time about it, but they were just, you know, if I was to put something out like a short film, they would have an absolute major problem with it. And you know, they weren't backwards about coming forwards when it came to that sort of stuff, and that played into my insecurities. That led to me going for the qualification in TV and film. And as I say, that's just a physical manifestation of my own insecurities. That's why it's getting burned at 100 subscribers. So we're very close to it. If you know people that will be interested in watching me talking nonsense and trying to inspire people and motivate them to do their thing, you know, share this video along to them. But these guys, the 3 or 4 guys, I actually looked them up a couple of days ago to see what they were doing. Like, it got to a point where, and I make no apologies for this here, you know, if you're going to make this sort of stuff, you're going to get negativity thrown at you on a fairly regular basis. It's just part of the game. I'm all happy and content with that. But when it comes down to somebody that you had once considered a friend that was actually going to town on you, I have got no problems, and I'm not going to apologise for, especially when it comes to social media, taking these guys off it. You don't need negative influences in your life, especially when you're trying to do something where you're actually putting yourself out there, your own vulnerabilities, your own insecurities. You're throwing them up on the internet for people to hopefully relate to. So I went, took a check at their social medias to see what they were doing, and all of them started out in either TV and film or photography, and only one of them is actually working in this line of work, you know, as far as like creating content goes. But what I did notice, and if you go to my podcast channel, Here's Rodders Vlogs and Reviews, I put out a podcast episode. It must be about 1.5 to 2 years ago now, and it's called If Memory Serves. Like, I start recording these here, and whatever comes out, and I haven't got my phone on me to actually check up the title of the podcast episode, but I do believe it is Know Your Worth as a Creator. Something along those lines. Check out the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Here's Rodders Vlogs and Reviews. Look that up. Nothing else should have a title similar to that there. So knowing your worth as a creator. And in that episode, I talk about a job offer that was given to me quite a few years ago now. That was just, you know, companies will tend to use you like a battery when it comes to content creation. And this company came to me, well, when I say company, it was actually a church. But it's run like a company. That's why I intend to call them a company whenever I talk about this story. This guy comes to me and he's like, you're interested in creating videos and making content and whatnot. He says, you would love to do that full time. And I was like, you know what, if I could get this to a point where this was my number one source of income, I would be happy and contented. And he's like, okay, right, they're moving into a new building at this point, expanding out, building up. And he's like, if you want to try and make this a full-time career option for you, give up your work, come work for us. This was the offer he put down. This is exactly how he said it. Okay, you come do our social media for us, run our media centre for the company, and in exchange for that, we will give you a room that you can turn into a studio. And I was like, okay, right, fair enough. There's no mention of money right here. So the deal was actually, when you broke it down, that give up your full-time job, come work for us full-time in exchange for a room to create content on. Now, as you're seeing in this video, all I need to create content is a camera and a smartphone right now. This is where the industry has got to at this point. It is so simple to create content that you can actually record it on this camera. I'm using the G7X, the Canon G7X. I can skip this footage directly onto my iPhone. I can edit in the intro and the end card and upload it directly from the phone. Now I'm doing external audio on this here, so I will need my laptop for that. But again, all I need when using the laptop for this sort of stuff is, again, anywhere. I could do it right here, put this video together. I could skip it directly from the laptop to the phone and upload it. Like, I don't even need to physically have a studio space around me to maintain this sort of stuff. Now, this guy was like, the deal was for me, and it was a really, really bad deal. I didn't take it. I will get to the point shortly. Deal was, give up your work, we'll give you a room, you can turn it into a studio, and you can look for your own work on the side. Now, that's giving up a full-time income to do a job for free for a studio space that you don't actually need. And even at that there, you've seen my videos. Like, if I'm doing something else, it's in a room in my house, it's just a bad deal all around. But then I also inquired into the short film stuff that I was creating, and I was like, what about the sort of stuff I've done, like Twilight, one of the short films I did, Lurker was an hour short film I did, and both of them were kind of, Lurker in particular was kind of like a horror based thing, and of course this wasn't up in their wheelhouse. So now you would have to stop all that sort of stuff because you're going to be like a representative for us. So I turned them down. I was just like, okay, you're giving up your full-time wage. My expenditures to do this here, where I was living at, I would actually be travelling double the distance to get there in a day, and doubling your travelling expenditures to go to a job you're not getting paid for, trying to look for your own freelance work on the side. I was just like, I'm better off. At that point I was just better off where I was at, so I turned them down. But one of the guys that I was saying I was comparing myself to was, at the start, has actually now, looking him up, has actually taken that deal. He's doing that now, and there's no future in that. Trust me on that. It's one of these things. I'm pretty sure that if I took that deal, I could have maintained it 7-8 months, perhaps a year, before I was busted and would have to go back on my knees to my full-time job again and start at scratch. So stop comparing yourself to other people. They don't know where they're going. You yourself don't know where you're going at this moment. Me, I have got absolutely no idea where the heck I'm going, how I'm going to get there, but that is the interesting part. Everything is totally different now to what it was, and it's going to be an interesting journey to try and work this stuff out. and I'm excited to do that. And if it takes me the next 10 or 15 years, I'm content to do that. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you got something out of this. Let me know in the comments below, and hit that thumbs up, get subscribed, and if you didn't like the video, you can downvote it. It's all interaction, it's all good. Whatever you need to do, you do it.